Hello, how are you doing? What is one thing that you do in the technical interview which will influence the interviewer to select you? Nowadays, when getting a job has become so difficult and it is almost necessary for you to have an edge over other applicants. One such unique thing could definitely be an explanation of the project. The interviewer's perspective in asking this question is to check if you have applied the knowledge that you have learned or not. And a good project explanation in the interview makes all the difference. You must have done a great project, but if you do not know how to explain it optimally, then it is as good as not doing a project itself. So are you ready to learn all about how to explain project in interview? In this video, we'll talk about how to introduce the project title, how to explain the technologies and tools used, how was the work distributed in the team and what was your role, how to describe the project, how to overcome the challenges, how to conclude, and one example of how to describe the project. Let's begin with the first aspect, how to introduce your project title. Introducing the title of your project is your first step. So it is very important to introduce it in the right way. So you should introduce the title of the project along with the purpose of the project, its application in terms of where it will be useful, and your motivation behind choosing this as your project. Do not just say, my project title is a chatbot system. It is very monotonous. You can instead say, we did a project on creating an interactive chatbot system. When the customers visit a web page and have queries about the product or services, the idea is to help the customers get the right information what they're looking for, and from the company's point of view, engaging the customers and saving on the resource cost. We chose this idea because when I visited some websites and if I had some queries, it was difficult to get the information. So we thought that through the chatbot, it will be helpful in accessing the required information, and companies will also retain the leads. Remember that interviewers take a lot of interviews. Candidates with monotonous answers can make them disinterested. And if you introduce a project title that clearly gives an idea about the reason why you chose to do the project, it shows that you have an ability to relate knowledge with real life challenges and how to apply technology to resolve those challenges. You can always add an adjective to your project title and a short statement that can tell about its feature. For example, my final year project was an innovative online mobile recharge is a web-based application developed on ASP.NET to recharge mobile phones. The project focuses on providing an easy and reliable platform to recharge mobile of any telecommunication company through online without buying recharge cards. Here we use the word innovative as an adjective. Using adjective gives excitement and creates a good impression on the interviewer. You can also use other adjectives such as worthy, proprietary, high quality, sophisticated, genetic, complex, powerful, special, etc. You can choose the adjective that suits well with your topic. Next aspect is explaining how to talk about the tools and technology that were used in the project. This is also a very essential aspect when explaining a project. When you talk about tools, technologies and platforms that were used to build the project, mention why you chose those. This will help the interviewer know that you have a good understanding of the functioning of the technical aspects, and it will create a positive impression. The interviewer will judge you based on the explanation you will provide for choosing a particular tool, as there are many different tools available. For example, for a project on home automation system, if someone used Python programming language, then they can mention the reasons for choosing Python, as the microcontroller RPA that is used is compatible with Python. It is easy to code and it holds hundreds of libraries. A database is required to store the values generated from sensors, so database can be linked to the microcontroller RPA with Python extensibility feature. Sending notifications is easy with Python when external libraries are linked in the code. Next aspect is to explain your role and contribution to the project. Every project to be successfully executed requires various skills, the involvement of multiple people, and the distribution of work. Here the idea is not to boast the ability to lead the team, but the aspect of teamwork and your contribution in executing the project. Telling about your contributions to the project will help the interviewer understand what you are capable of doing and your potential. It will also narrow down the areas on which the interviewer can ask you the questions, which will also be easy for you to prepare yourself and answer those questions. Don't you think it is easy to talk about the aspects that you executed rather than talking about the aspects that others did? So if you talk about your contribution, then the interviewer will focus on asking questions related to the work you did. Students generally get confused with the aspect of the role. They think that they should talk about the role of leading the team or coordinating between the team members, which is not correct. We are talking about the contribution with respect to applying the knowledge. Your role in the project may be small or big. It is how you portray yourself for the project makes all the difference. For example, if the project is about building a website, then the work can be distributed between 3 people. Like one person works on building user interface, another person works on building database, and the last person works on generating the logics. So you can mention which of these aspects you took the responsibility of. While you focus on the areas that you have worked on, you should also be able to cover the remaining aspects of the project, which shows your ability to understand the overall aspects of project management. It depends on the interviewer how much time he or she has to interview each candidate. If they have more time and they want to know more about the project, they can ask questions on the other aspects of the project. Otherwise, the discussion will mostly be focused on your contribution. Remember, don't try to impress the interviewer by showcasing the ability to lead the team. Rather, focus on the aspect of teamwork. Because most companies, when they hire freshers, they look for people who can work in the teams rather than people who can lead. Your next step is to describe the project. A good explanation of the project will help the interviewer know that you have actually worked really hard while making the project. To explain the project in detail, you can make use of STAR approach, which is situation, task, action, result. STAR is especially effective when answering competency-focused questions where interviews expect you to present real-world business issues. It helps recruiters learn more about your behavior and how you employ your skills and experience when the going gets tough. By answering in this way, the interviewer will get to know about your priority setting, decision making, meeting deadlines, and assigning tasks, etc. So here is how you implement the STAR approach. Number 1, situation. Set the stage for the story by sharing context around the situation or challenge you face. Share any relevant details. For example, we thought about automating door locks so that when familiar people are identified, they are allowed to come at once. Also, it will trigger a notification if anyone arrives. Number 2, task. When explaining the task, you must describe your responsibility or role in the situation or challenge. In the case of this example, you can say, we started working to create an app where it controls the door lock and can be accessed from no matter where we are. We used a microcontroller, RPA and motion detecting sensor to detect if anyone arrives home. Additionally, we also connected the camera to RPA to know who arrived. If someone arrives home, the camera will take a picture and will send it through a mail. Now, as soon as we get a mail notification, we can choose to open the door with the app. If the person who is not known, we can send a voice message asking them to drop letters near the door, or if it is a delivery boy, then we can ask them to hand over items at the next door. For this, we have used speakers connected to RPA. Third, action. Explaining how you handle the situation or overcome challenge is necessary. By explaining the action taken, the interviewer will know if you can demonstrate critical thinking and problem solving, and your way to handle situations that require you to showcase leadership skills, conflict resolution, and performance under pressure. For this example, your action can be that your team and you finally built an Android application which checks for the sensor values in the database and controls door components and voice messages. Don't forget to mention the usage of the MIT inventor to build the application and connect the app with the database for monitoring the sensor values. Number 4, result. What was the outcome you reached through your actions? If possible, quantify your success or provide concrete examples of the effects of your efforts. In the final outcome, we provided a look and feel application and gave all accesses to the user. Now the user can operate the door and can also send and receive voice messages. Here you also need to tell them the improvements you see that can be made in the future. You can also explain the future improvements of the present project. You can also talk about the expectations towards the project in the future. This in turn will showcase your confidence and positivity towards the work. A project is something that will showcase all the aspects of your talent. It is important to add learnings as a conclusion at the end to make it feel that you are a good learner and you have learned many things in the project execution. The most important aspect which the companies or organizations will expect is to see your performance in the project and not how good the project is. How did you overcome the difficulties and challenges? This is the trickiest part. Nowadays, many companies are looking for people with a good problem-solving skills. By telling the interviewer about some difficulties and challenges you might have faced during your project, explain to the interviewer how you had overcome the challenge and also explain the thought process of yourself to overcome the difficulties. For example, taking the home automation project, initially everything was working fine except for aspect of sending the picture to the user. We did not get the right images. Whenever there was some motion detected by the sensor, it captured the image, but when we opened the image, we found some animals passing by rather than that of humans. Then we used a small technology of identifying human, and then the images were captured only when there is a human who comes and stands in front of the door. Now, how to conclude? Update the status of the project, if it is completed or if it is incomplete, till what stage it is completed, or if you have also implemented it somewhere, etc. Mention the aspect of team effort in completing the project. Talk about what has been the learning or overall experience of doing the project. You can make a positive impact if you can also include the aspect by saying that you are looking forward to taking up bigger challenges. Now, finally, the example of how to describe the project. Here is an example of how you can give an explanation of your project. For instance, you can say something like, introducing the project, sir, I have done quite a few projects in my engineering. Among them, my favorite that turned out to be very effective, reliable and very useful is electric eye diode. It's a comprehensive house protection device that could be placed on the house wall, which will give the security alarm for earthquake, CNG gas leak, fire accidents, and also prevents unauthorized entry in a home by sending a message to the owners and nearby police or fire station depending on the situation. We chose this project because previously 3 to 4 different devices were used for the same work and it becomes an expensive affair. For our project, we have used Python as it is a high-level programming language that has automatic memory management. Its other features such as user-friendly data structures, portable across operating systems, and its wide reach made it suitable for our project. My role in this project was to build CNG security, SIM card inserts, GSM to make sure the project would be under the budget. To start with, we combined electric eye diode using diodes, CNG MQ4 detector, SIM 300CZ GSM, and earthquake MPU 6050 sensor, along with some economic resistors and capacitors to make it more affordable and reliable. We chose to use CNG MQ4 detector because it is a simple to use compressed natural gas sensor suitable for sensing natural gas concentrations in the air. The MQ4 can detect natural gas concentrations anywhere from 200 to 10,000 ppm. The sensor has selective digital or analog output capability which can be measured easily with any other microcontroller. The SIM 300CZ GSM not only has a serial interface and plug and play facility, but its modem can be used to send SMS, receive and make the calls, and do the basic GSM operations with the help of 80 commands. A standard RS-232 interface was also used so that we can use it to interface with microcontrollers and PCs. MPU 6050 sensor is a device that detects earthquake shocks. According to our research, approximately 800,000 earthquakes occur in a year, which kills so many lives and destroys buildings. Our project is a small effort to overcome the loss which occurs due to the earthquake. This detector can detect the minor shocks and gives an alarm to help people evacuate to safer place. With the effort of all the team members, we were able to complete the project successfully within the time period we have decided. This practical application gave us a lot of confidence in our abilities to take up bigger challenges. And I strongly believe that if I get the opportunity to start my career with take the name of the company here, it can provide me ample opportunities to work on. That is all about sample project explanation. We strongly believe that insights that we gave in the project will definitely help you in explaining about your project in the interview, and which will also help you in fetching the job. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and do let us know in the comment section how effectively you were able to use the information given in this video and what was the result about the outcome of the interview.